Yeah, there was a wallet that was found, I guess, fairly recently in Atlanta at the Plaza Theater. They were doing some reconstruction on it, remodeling.
The thing was in a wall.
In a wall.
So they go looking in the wall going, oh, this has got to belong to somebody. It's been there for, are you ready for this? 65 years. They wound up finding the person that it belonged to. She passed away, what was it, mid-2000s, something like that. And she was, I think, in her 80s, if I remember correctly. But they found her daughter, gave it to her daughter, and her daughter's like, this is unlocking so much for me. She's in her 70s, and she remembers when that wallet was lost, or at least not remembers, but it's like, if when I was at that theater with my mom when she lost the wallet, I was like 5 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah, just tiny, but it had been gone forever, but it had pictures of family members inside of it. And so Thea, the daughter, now getting to kind of walk through those memories of her mama and, just their time spent at the movie theater is actually pretty cool. But how does it get into a wall?
I'm sure a lot of different renovations that happened throughout the years. They just didn't see it.
It's so weird, I guess.
Or the guy who was renovating it the first time went, and kicked it in the wall. And
I don't want to deal with this.
Drywall up.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Apple Watch, I guess at the beginning of the year or at Christmas, had an Apple face of Snoopy, and it was animated, and every time you looked at your watch, it was like a different scene.
I feel like that's been around for a while. I don't think Charlie Brown's really gone away.
See, I
There's
feel like
always been a Charlie Brown.
It's always been there, but I don't feel personally like it's been that popular of late. But evidently, Hershey's is all about some Snoopy and the Charlie Brown gang because they have now made Hershey's Kisses. And I don't know if you've been to the store lately.
They've had Hershey's Kisses for a long time.
But they've got Snoopy on them.
Oh, it's Snoopy Kisses.
And Charlie Brown. So you've got some with Woodstock, and then you've got Charlie Brown and Sally, his sister. So I think what they're showing is there are different types of love, like a sibling love between Charlie Brown and Sally. And then you've got Linus and Lucy, which Lucy's totally in love with. Oh, no, it's not Linus. It's Schroeder. Schroeder, right? That she's in love with.
The guy who plays the piano.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's showing that type of love. And then it has Lucy with Snoopy. So the love that you have for your fur babies. And so they have the Hershey's Kisses with the whole Peanuts gang all over them.
Well, nice.
It is nice. I'm, again, never been into the Peanuts, the Charlie Brown gang.
Why?
I'll watch it, and I like the Christmas one and the Thanksgiving and the Great Pumpkin. But other than that, I'm just I'm not.
What?
I don't know.
What happened to you in your childhood?
I don't know.
With Charlie Brown?
Maybe it was something with peanuts. Who knows? I have no idea.
You're allergic?
No, just it was never a thing for me.
Really?
Like the whole peppermint patty and the whole whatever. And she
know.
pulls the,
I guess because I identified with Charlie Brown.
Because you kept getting the football pulled out from under you?
Everything pulled out from under me.
No.
Just a football.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Okay, here they go. Banished words again for 2024. It's interesting, some of the words that they have on here. There's a top 10 list, like wait for it's on there, side hustle, obsessed, cringeworthy, iconic, slay, riz. What in the world does that mean? At the end of the day, impact, and hack are all on the banished word list. I'm surprised that hacked is on there, even though it's overused. You can't get away from that one.
No, not really. There's a hack for everything, and I guess that's why they're sick of hearing hacks. It's tips, basically. That's all it is.
A hack is a tip, something that somebody else doesn't know how to do, and you find a way to have a hack for it. So, but that's one of the words. Like Scott is I'm so grateful some of these words are on there.
I am. I cringe at cringeworthy. I've never liked that, and same for side hustle. I've never been a fan of those two.
Part-time job.
Well, yeah. I was going to say, what would you call it? Side
part-time
gig?
job.
Do you like side gig?
A side gig. I like side gig, not side hustle.
Okay, so
Good
if we
point.
stop saying side hustle and we start saying side gig, in 2025, Scott's going to be over that one, too.
He's obsessed over it.
Is he obsessed? Maybe. It slays me when someone says it.
Yeah, that's so cringeworthy.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Question. Is it together or separate? Together or separate? When it comes to washing your clothes.
Separate. 100% separate. I cannot stand when somebody in my house puts towels with my clothes because then you end up with little fuzzies all over your clothes.
Okay, now I need a little bit of clarity. Okay, so there's different kinds of separate. Like, for instance, when Scott hears this, he thinks that he's doing the laundry alongside his wife, and they're both putting it in the washing machine together.
Wasn't that cute?
Well, quality time.
Right?
Pass me the fabric softener, dear.
Here you go, honey bun.
A nice little bonding thing for newlyweds.
That is the way I perceived it when I first heard it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now,
That's funny.
when I hear together or separate, I think a couple of different things. I'm thinking whites and darks.
Oh, sure.
I'm thinking separate that way. Or is it I wash my own clothes and they wash their own clothes? I just do my laundry and somebody else does their laundry. So there's a couple of different ways to take together or separate.
In our house, my husband does his own clothes. He likes to just take care of his work clothes and the whole thing. And I'm like, you do you. That's great. But also, I separate colors. I separate, like I say, the towels and wash rags from the clothes. A lot of separation happening in my house.
Yeah, I'll do my workout clothes because my wife is kind of disgusted by it. She does them.
They're smelly.
They kind of are. It had my workout clothes has their own laundry basket with an air freshener.
Oh, my goodness. That's hilarious. You know what I can't stand to touch?
What's that?
Socks, especially work or workout socks.
Yeah.
Don't make me touch your nasty socks. I'm sorry.
Really? I thought it would be undergarments
Well,
because guys are dirty.
So
I'm sorry. That's the only way I can say it.
so the underwear in the house, I will take a towel and pick up the underwear.
You can buy rubber gloves.
I can.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
It's Rob and Lizz in the morning. This is his radio.
I'm annoying. You probably already knew that, but I'm annoying.
Hey, I don't, Scott, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to keep quiet.
Not saying a word here.
Not going to say
gonna
anything.
it.
Liz annoying, not saying anything.
Wow.
Nope. No.
Wow. I was talking about just on a flight because I always order Diet Coke. But sure.
What? Wait a minute. How does that make somebody annoying?
That's annoying?
To a flight attendant, yes.
Why?
Because as soon as you say Diet Coke, and I've never had one kind of roll their eyes or anything or huff, like they're just as sweet as they can be and they pour my drink. But a Diet Coke, like the cabin pressure on a plane, makes it even harder to serve a Diet Coke because of the fizz. Like they'll pour. So if I go get a fountain drink and I go to get Diet Coke, there's all the fizz and you got to wait for it to go down. Sometimes I'll put my finger in it because that helps the fizz go down. You never tried that? Rob's never tried that.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know. I have not
No.
tried this. However, I don't want to stick a dirty finger down into
It's
a
my
fountain drink.
finger. Like,
You
I'm
don't
not
know where
doing
that's
it.
finger been.
If I don't know where my own finger's been, I got a bigger problem.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
I can't play darts. And evidently, there's this whole thing that there's a world championship of dart playing.
Yeah, there's championships for anything that you do.
Right? So I can do darts probably for about 5 minutes and hit the thing. After that, I don't know what goes on. I can't hit the board anymore. Forget it.
How often have you played darts that this has happened?
I don't know, 20 times in my life. That's
Okay,
about
yeah,
it. I don't
yeah.
play darts.
I
I
don't-
guess if there's enough reps in, I'd be okay.
Enough what?
Reps. You do it enough times.
Oh, I was like, what? They're trying to sell you like Mary Kay or something? Like what?
No, like reps like you're doing,
Okay,
in
like
the
you're
gym.
working out.
Like you're working out.
Okay.
But here's this kid, I should say student, he's 16 years old. The guy is amazing, makes it all the way to the world championships, all the way to the end, and loses to another guy that has the same name of him.
No.
He's a Luke. His name is Luke. He's 16. Another Luke who's like in his late 20s or early 20s actually won the whole championship. But this 16-year-old made it all the way there. If he would have won, he would have been the youngest ever to win this world championship for darts.
So if he wins next year, at 17, will he
He'll
still
be the youngest, yeah.
Okay, so he's got some time. I will say, I've seen a picture of the kid. I think he's a 45-year-old guy in disguise.
Really?
He looks 45 years old.
No, he doesn't look 45, but I will say he probably looks like he's in his 20s because of the beard that he has. There's no crow's feet.
Not crow's feet so much. There's more of a receding hairline than I think a 20-year-old. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just putting it out there.
Listen, my oldest was bald in his early 20s.
Was he really?
Yes.
Yeah, I have one of my in-laws that was. So, okay. He still looks older than I don't know. I just want to see his birth certificates.
There's a lot of comments, but he's been playing as a kid. That's why he's so good.
Well, I mean, that's awesome that he found his passion and his talent, really.
She's
so
stuck
early.
on what he looks like
No,
at
no,
his
no.
age.
No, I'm talking about his darts. But if he, if he started playing as a kid, why do you give a 3-year-old darts? Aren't they sharp?
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
So a lot of cities has these railed trails, right? They pull out the railroad track, they make it into a trail. It's amazing. They're called something different everywhere you go. Well, in Toronto, they just made new signs for their version of a rail to trail. And out of 500 signs, 3 of them had typos.
Yeah, they're not calling it a trail. They're calling it a trial.
It literally says Lake Shore Trial instead of trail on one of them. And then there's Lake Share Trail.
Like Share Trail.
That's the second one. The third one is not downtown, it's Downton, like Downton Abbey.
Yeah, that makes me very excited. I'm like, okay, so if I go this way, I'll run into all the people from Downton Abbey. That's super cool. They're saying even to replace these signs, and I find this hard to believe that it won't cost that much to replace these signs. I mean, don't you have to reprint them, and then you have to have somebody take the old one down, put the new one up?
Compared to 500,
I know.
it's 3.
It's 3. But, yeah, so they said, their editor, the person that proofreads everything, just didn't catch those 3. That seems to be kind of a big percentage
Well,
that got through.
I think I would have gone blurry at that time,
True.
trying to proof all those.
Well, the thing is, you can't. I used to be a proofreader for our school newspaper because I was the editor, and so one of my jobs was to help proofread, and you can't do it all in one day. There's no way you can do it all in one day if you're doing it by yourself. It does start to run together.
I'm horrible at it.
Well, I mean, it's hard to see. First of all, you got to be really good at spelling. Plus, with this, you've got to know the area because if you see trial, you might be like, okay, maybe that's what they call it. Or Downton. That might be what they call it.
No, I think your brain puts the letter in there.
Oh, sure.
They'll see Downton, but it looks like downtown.
Yeah.
They see trial, it looks like trail because you look at so many signs.
Well, and there's puzzles that are like that too. Like they'll give you all but a couple of letters. Your brain will automatically read it because it recognizes it.
It sees it.
So maybe that's part of it.
Oh, I think so. I'm gonna help that person out.
Okay, good.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Here's this guy. He's in Australia, and as he's fishing after 4 long hours, a crocodile jumps in his boat.
It's so nice. It's so nice. This thing jumped in his boat. Of course, he was freaking out a little bit and tried to get out of the back of the boat. But yeah, he was trying to pivot the boat back and forth to try to rock.
Well, he literally saw the
out.
crocodile coming. He's like, I've got to get out of here. So he starts to fire up the engine. Crocodile jumps in. And then he's like, I got to get this boat moving. So he jumps over the crocodile to bring the anchor up and jumps back over the crocodile to start up the engine and all that, the boat rocking back and forth. Crocodile finally gets out of the boat, falls out, and the guy starts it up and boogies out of there.
I'm just glad that he had the mindset to be able to do that. I don't know. I feel like I would shut down in the moment and just be, crocodile bait. But I mean, I feel like it.
What?
Because I don't know. I don't know how I would. I've never dealt with a crocodile, so I would not know what to do.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Rob and Lizz.
Tiffany, just before Christmas, she was on her way to work, and it was in a very busy area of upstate South Carolina. So she's on her way to work, had a medical emergency, so much so that I guess her vehicle was kind of in the middle of traffic, and a lot of the other cars around, the people were honking their horns because they didn't know what was going on. They're just like, go, it's green, come on, it's only one shade. So one of the other people in the car, her name was Felicia. She's a registered nurse. She kind of figured out there's something more going on here. She jumps out of her car. She realizes Tiffany is having a medical issue. Gets her out of the car with the help of some other people, starts giving her CPR. They call 911. A couple of other registered nurses come on the scene. Thankfully, Tiffany is okay. She is recovering now. She's got a long road ahead of her. But people that were right there in that big traffic jam jumped out to help Tiffany and
Whatever
saved her
happened,
life.
she couldn't move.
She had no idea anything was going on. They even put her afterwards like in a induced coma so that they could figure out kind of, what was going on with
Wow.
the brain and this kind of thing. Like I say, she's got a long road ahead. From what I understand, 5 different times there was a flat line while she was out
No way.
in traffic. I don't know another way to say that, but they brought her back. And so she really, and her family, her mama, Kathy, credits those nurses and those people that jumped in, and they were all able to meet in the last couple of weeks.
I'm thankful that she was stopped. I
But
mean,
she-
if that happened while she was still moving,
If she'd have gone down, let's say 85, and it just happened while she was in traffic, who knows what would have happened? Thankfully, either she, was moving at such a slow rate of speed it didn't hurt anybody, or she was stopped at that light.
sounds like she was stopped.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's going to be okay.
Yeah. And again, I don't know the particulars on how Tiffany is doing other than she's alive, she's getting better, but she does have a long road of recovery.
And people who cared enough to do something
Rather
did
than just
something,
honk. Yeah.
right?
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Yeah, Kayla, who's on TikTok, has been sharing what she's been doing under her house. She's been building tunnels.
Girl, why? Why you need a tunnel? Where are you going? Tunnel to Target? What you doing?
But it's under her house. And so she's done a lot of precautions. There's like beams and concrete and all this stuff. But there are some neighbors that are like, this could be dangerous. I mean, the house could cave in or the yard is all messed up and stuff like that. So now the city's like, let's just make sure things are up to code before you get started again.
So she didn't get permits to be able to do this.
Doesn't sound like
Because
it.
you can can't you create like a sinkhole situation if you're digging where you shouldn't be digging, if it's already weak in that?
If you don't know what you're doing and you're not engineering this thing properly, yeah.
But where is she trying to go? That's my whole question.
That I wish I had an answer for you.
Like, is that straight to the Olive Garden there, Kayla? What you doing, girl?
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Here's one thing that we've been learning about Liz this morning. When it comes to defizzing her Diet Coke, right? Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Is
Or
there
Diet
another?
Dr. Pepper.
Anything diet. She takes her index finger and sticks it in her diet soda.
Or my thumb. Either one. Whichever
A finger
one.
or a thumb.
Yeah, and-
What's the difference? I
Well,
mean,
just how I'm holding the cup typically, but like if
Okay.
I'm getting a fountain drink, it's easier for me to put my thumb in it. And so and you let it go over the finger. You don't just stick it down in there, but let it go over the finger as you're putting it in to your drink because for whatever reason, it cuts down on the fizz.
I get that, but when do you wash your hand before you do this?
Maybe 2 weeks before.
2 weeks?
Really? No, I'm always like washing my hands.
She is. I get that. But all the things you touch before you actually put it into your soda?
Yeah. Look.
Doorknobs?
No, like
Yeah,
I'm not. I
you
mean,
are.
not
You have to
really.
use the doorknob
I
to
will-
get in the restaurant.
So let me tell you this. Like if you go to the restroom, public restroom or whatever, I always use paper towel to open the door. I do not touch any handles whatsoever.
Good for you.
If it's a push one, I use my elbow.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have a paper towel, because so many restrooms now public do not have paper towels, which is a travesty, but I will use the inside of my sleeve and I'll pull my hand in and then I'll use my sleeve.
Wow, she's demonstrating.
Yes. I'll push the door
Uh-huh.
with my hand inside my
Okay,
sleeve.
well, that's good.
So I do protect my hands quite a bit.
So Victoria's here at 800-447-7234. I understand you do something like this, Victoria?
A friend taught me. I saw her doing it one time, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she said it's something about putting your finger in it helps the fizz go down. But it really works. I do it all the time.
Funny question. This might be weird, But what does it taste like after you put a soapy finger in your drink?
I don't taste the difference.
I do this. I'll lick the Diet Coke off my finger after I take it out of the drink.
Normally, I'll wipe my finger on a napkin and come out in public, but if I'm at home, yes, I will put my finger in my mouth after I do it in my drink.